Right now, there's a lot happening in the comment section, from who is even still buying property in a war zone to this sounds like pure desperation. And honestly, I understand why thoughts like that come up when people are following the news. At the same time, I also see comments like, get a real job and stop talking nonsense, or you've lost my trust. And that is exactly where it gets interesting. Because some of these reactions is completely understandable, while other parts are based more on assumptions than on real insights. That is why I want to use this episode to calmly and objectively break things down. Not to sugarcoat anything or to sell something, but to give you a factual point of view so you can form your own opinion. Welcome. My name is Eugen Zimbelmann from Dubai Finance. I help investors successfully invest in real estate in Dubai by finding the right property as an investor, Dubai Land Department certified property valuer, and mortgage specialist. I want to address the comments that have changed significantly since the start of the war in Iran. Critical voices have always existed here. That is nothing new. But the intensity, the tone, and the speed at which opinions are currently forming are new. And that is why I want to ask you a simple question today. What exactly is your opinion about Dubai based on right now? Negative news spread faster. It gets more clicks, more attention, more reach. This leads many people to form a misleading picture and to believe that what they are seeing is reality. But is it really? Or is it simply an opinion that happens to generate reach? Some YouTubers also jump on exactly this strong narrative right now. Property prices are collapsing, everyone is leaving the city. These are the content with huge potential for reach. Because when it comes to Dubai, there are often two very strongly opposing viewpoints. On the one hand, there are people who are fascinated by Dubai, who like to visit, who may be considering relocating, or who already live here. And then there is another group, maybe from your home country. People who strongly dislike Dubai or even hate it. People who have always looked down on the city and fell for claims that the Burj Khalifa is not connected to the sewage system, which is absolutely nonsense. People who assume that women are oppressed in Dubai. The opposite is the case. But some of these people who have such strong negative feelings toward Dubai that it sometimes feel like they take satisfaction when negative headlines appear. When their supposed dream of a desert city is said to burst like a bubble, and when they are believed they are finally being proven right. Because they always know Dubai would fail. This sense of superiority now comes to the surface, and these are exactly the people who, in reality, do not have a problem with Dubai itself, but rather with fact that they may not have the opportunity to travel here, vacation here, or even live here. And this frustration and personal conflict now finds a strong expression through the war in Iran. Suddenly, they feel validated and celebrate the supposed decline. When opinions are then added from people who have no real understanding of real estate but still feel qualified to comment on it just to generate reach, it further strengthens this sense of validation. Look, I don't have a problem if people don't share my opinion or even have a negative view of Dubai. It's not important to me to convince people about Dubai or about real estate if they are simply not the type of audience I mainly speak to. With my content, I want to reach people who look beyond the surface and want to understand how the real estate market actually works. Why Dubai has become so attractive in recent years and why it has performed so strongly. Why this city is not a coincidence of success, but the result of long-term planning, consistent decision-making, and a clear strategic vision. A vision to turn the city into something that does not exist anywhere else in the world in this form. To take a clear position, attract a specific type of people, and continue growing through innovation, investment on consistent milestones that build on each other over time. While other countries focus on issues that are often less important and turn small topics into big political debates, the main structural problems are sometimes ignored. This often contributes to public frustration and dissatisfaction with political systems in many parts of the world. Against this backdrop, Dubai positions itself differently, focusing on execution, economic development, and long-term strategic planning. Here is not about whether gender-inclusive language should be introduced in schools or about which gender people define themselves as. In Dubai, it is not about using supposed victim roles for laws or for restricting freedom of expressions. In Dubai, the justice system is strict and it enforces the law against misinformation, against deliberate manipulation of public sentiment, and against real crimes. And this state, which is also capable of taking firm actions and strongly punishing those who do not comply with the law, is something that many countries lack. But it is exactly these people who see their own home country breaking down, who are frustrated with politicals, with ignorance, and with misplaced priorities, who are worried about their wealth, about themselves, and about their children. These are exactly the people who are looking for alternatives. These people have worked hard for their wealth. They have taken risks, built companies, hired employees, and take responsibility. And it is exactly these people, the pillars of society, who are now being hit in the face. Not only through ever increasing taxes, fees, and regulations, but also in everyday life. Who really feel safe walking into the streets of your home country at night anymore? Women certainly no longer do. And the risk of the life in physical safety is no longer a theoretical concern in many major cities. It has become a sad daily reality. Meanwhile, debates are being held about problems that are not even real. Politicians who have never truly worked, who have never taken real risks themselves, are then telling entrepreneurs how to run their businesses. This has all become nothing but ridiculous and shameful. Victims of real violence are mocked in probably your home country media, and at the same time, the rule of law no longer functions properly. Meanwhile, so-called victims are seeking media attention and visibility, an insult to the real victims. Dubai is the opposite of exactly that. Yes, the situation here has unfortunately changed a lot in recent weeks. Dubai was known worldwide for its safety. Here, you can still move freely at night, even as a woman. No one has to fear for their life. The rule of law is strict and consistent. You can value that or reject it. I personally see it as a positive. However, the war in Iran is also leaving its mark here. There are many people who feel uncertain, and some even believe that Dubai has failed. I definitely do not see it that way. But with every day that the war continues, it weakens Dubai. In the last 4 weeks, more than 1.5 million tourists would have been in the city. Currently, it is only a fraction of that, and that leaves its mark. Hotels with low occupancy, empty restaurants, less traffic, this is a chain of effects that follows. Businesses come under pressure because customers stay away and revenues decline significantly. Real estate has largely not been affected by this so far because the property market does not react as quickly as other markets, but rather follows with a delay. But this is exactly where you need to be more careful and look at individual locations and buildings in detail and analyze them properly, instead of making general statements, even if they are easier. The city and the real estate market as well is stronger than many people assume. But even here, more and more people are becoming panicked, partly for a valid reason and partly irrelevant, in particular property owners who live abroad and hold real estate in Dubai are becoming unsettled. They are influenced by media headlines and so-called opinions from people who are simply looking for reach. These unsettled people often start acting without thinking properly and on impulse. We have already developed a system over the past weeks to identify exactly these types of sellers and help them move on from their situation and from their property in Dubai. We approach these highly motivated sellers outside of platforms like Property Finder or Beirut, using a much more systematic strategy, which I would like to show you in one of my upcoming episodes. So if you are interested in how we currently identify opportunities in the market and acquire properties below market value, below their true value, then subscribe to my YouTube channel Dubai Finance so you don't miss the next episodes. And now a final clarification regarding all the YouTube comments under my videos from people who still think that I need to defend Dubai or that I am myself panicking. Everyone can decide for themselves whether and what kind of content they consume. I know that my videos do not appeal to everyone and that the truth is often uncomfortable. Not everyone can deal with that discomfort, and that is completely fine as well. My channel is not focused for reach. It is not my goal to appeal to everyone or to reach as many people as possible. No. My goal is much more to reach the right people. People who are able to think clearly for themselves, to question things, and to make responsibility for their own decisions. People who can understand complex topics in a more detailed way and are often willing to go against the mainstream opinion. And these are exactly the people who have already been successful in life, whether financially, in business, personally, or through good investment decisions. It is to these peoples that I am committed to share my point of view in a transparent, honest, and direct way. Analytical, based on facts and real numbers. I am not driven by a current narrative that I choose to follow, that has never been important to me. I am financially independent and not depend on whether someone decided to work with me or my team. And that is why I have the freedom to express myself openly, to share my thoughts, and to help some people make better decisions today and in the future. That is exactly why I have started, and that is exactly what I will continue to do, regardless of who comments under my videos and regardless of whether my point of view aligns with their or not. I know that is the people who do not comment on videos, who do not fall for superficial headlines and can think in a more differentiated way. These are the people I am addressing and the ones I enjoy working with. I develop individual strategies with them and contribute to being part of Dubai's success story. Because one thing is clear, Dubai will continue on its path and come out even stronger, and the real estate market will benefit from that as well. Maybe right now, in uncertain times, is exactly the right moment to position yourself, to stay alert and remain capable for acting, in order to benefit from the fear and uncertainty of others, from people who are simply not as rational and analytical as we are. Let's talk. Go now to www.dubai-finance.com and book a free initial consultation. If you like my content, you will be impressed by our collaboration.